Are you paying too much? Have you gotten a credit card bill in the mail that says 0% APR financing? Or have you read the conditions and the terms on your promissory note? And after you read it, there's some fine print. The fine print on the terms and conditions and the 0% APR financing is talking about interest rates. And that's what I want to talk to you a little bit about today. I actually want to educate you on some basic lending terms, and then give you some information about the different types of interest rates, and then what we can do to try to investigate or learn more about interest rates so we can make some financial decisions that's best for us, and we can be on our way to financial freedom. Let's start with some basic lending terms. Dictionary.com defines interest to be the sum paid or charged for the use of money or for borrowing, such as a cash advance loan, or you want to get a JCPenney card that has interest charges on it. You can spend so much, but you have to pay what you spend and also the interest rate. Some basic lending terms that I want to talk to you today about are APR, which stands for annual percentage rate. The annual percentage rate is the total effective cost of credit. So, for instance, if you want to borrow, say, $5,000, the annual percentage rate will be the percent or the rate of how much of that $500 you paid back. A finance charge is the amount of interest. So an APR is a percentage rate, that's the rate of interest. The finance charge is the actual amount of interest that you're going to pay for the money that you borrowed. Amount financed is the amount of credit available to the borrower for use, or the net amount of the extended credit. And that would be what you borrowed plus any interest or finance charges. The total of payments would be the sum of the finance charges and whatever the amount is of the money that you borrowed. I think it's important that we get involved to know about interest rates. Here are some familiar and unfamiliar interest rates. A discount rate is a federal government charge on loans. It's made to commercial banking institutions, and that's the rate that they charge a bank or banking institutions for borrowing funds. A cash advance or a payday loan has some unfamiliar costs, and those would be, for some payday loans, you would have to pay maybe, let's say for instance, you borrowed an amount of maybe $200, and let's say for instance the finance fee is $89. Well, with some finance companies or some payday loans or cash advances, you might have to pay the $200 that you borrowed, the $89 finance fee, and an additional finance fee if you don't pay that loan back on time. So on top of the fee that you have to pay and the interest accrued, you have to pay an additional finance fee. Here are some examples of of interest charges. A loan at $500. Does anybody have a calculator or something that you can add quickly? A loan at $500 at a 2.5% interest rate. The total amount of that loan due will be $625. So the initial payment is $500. And how you calculate interest? Interest equals principal times the rate times the time. A loan, for instance, at $300 at 5% interest rate per month with a $25 origination fee would be $367 that you would have to pay back. The $25 origination fee makes it $392 that you have to pay back. Those are just some examples of interest charges and some examples of the types of interest charges that we have to pay. How many of you, in my conclusion, how many of you are going to take an active part in researching interest charges and just finding out what interest charges are, how much you have to pay back? Do I have anybody who's willing to take the challenge to become more involved in interest rates and see how much you actually owe? What you have to do is you just have to read the fine print in the documents that you have. You have to make sure that you read them thoroughly. Mortgage payments, loans, cash advances, any of that. You have to make sure that you read that fine writing and that print so you'll know how much you're actually paying out of pocket. Again, in my conclusion, I just want to make sure that you know that it's important to make sure you know how much interest rates are. It can help you avoid like overdraft fees and then fees that you didn't know about. So hopefully all of you will take that extra step to becoming financially free.